Good morning and welcome to the KDPG Sunday Edition. I'm Stacy Smith.
And I'm Ken Rice. We're doing things a little differently today. Stacy and I normally take turns hosting this program. He's on one week and I'm on the next.
And the constant each week has been the man seated next to one of us, David Shribman. He has co-hosted this program ever since he became the executive editor of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette 16 years ago. But today we invited David to take a seat on the other side of our desk.
In case you haven't heard, David is stepping down from his post at the Post-Gazette as this year comes to an end. So we invited him to come on and talk about his extraordinary career and share his reflections on Pittsburgh and the news and his life in journalism. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you,
David,
guys.
thanks for joining us and being on that side of the set. You talked about retiring some time ago, but why all of a sudden it really seemed to come out of nowhere that you decided to pull the plug early?
Well, you know, the shooting at the synagogue, which was 3 blocks from my house, was a really important moment for Pittsburgh, and I think it was an important moment for the Post-Gazette and surely for me as well. And that seemed to be a logical breakpoint for me. It was a horribly difficult moment for Pittsburgh. Challenging moment for journalists, as you gentlemen guys know, and I think we did a very, very good, a credible job, and a creditable job, and it seemed to me that that was time to say goodbye.
So you're saying that you decided to leave on a very tragic note for the city of Pittsburgh, but at the same time, from a reportorial perspective for your staff, you felt it was a very high note in how you covered it.
I think it was. I'm very proud of what we did. I think the community felt that way. I gave a little talk in the newsroom in that period in which I said our job was not only to speak to Pittsburgh, but to speak for Pittsburgh, and I think we did that well, and it's a nice break point.
I think your coverage has been widely celebrated far and wide. There was one particular headline that I want to talk about. We'll bring it up on the screen. This was about a week or so after.
No, it was the Friday. It was almost a week. It was done Thursday night for the Friday paper. And the shooting, of course, had been the Saturday prior.
No one had ever seen, I don't believe, an American newspaper with a Hebrew banner headline.
Well, no. And I think we were able to say in 4 words, though not in English, something profound about this community and about what we had all witnessed. I was a little reluctant to do it. I thought about it on Wednesday. By end of day Wednesday, I was sure I wanted to do it for Thursday for Friday night.
And what does that mean?
Well, it's the first 4 words of the mourner's prayer, actually in Aramaic. That's the Hebrew rendition of it. And it's said on the Jewish Sabbath on Friday evenings, and it struck me that we should say this for the whole community.
What reaction did you get to that headline?
Well, I was stunned at the reaction. You know, I've only written about 6 headlines in my life, Steelers win or some such thing, and but the reaction was remarkable, and people ran to buy the paper, and I heard from people all over the world, not only Israel but France, England, everywhere, and throughout the United States, and it seemed to have struck a chord, and I'm grateful that it did.
On the inside part of how this is done, such a headline on, or do you have free reign as the executive editor?
Well, I suppose we could have had a debate, but this was one in which I was prepared to say that we're not going to have a debate and we're just going to do this.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Are you retiring?
Well, I'm just not going to the office anymore.
Okay.
But I'm not retiring. I have a column at Syndicated in the United States. I'll continue to write that. I haven't missed a week in 26 years. I have a column in the Globe and Mail in Canada, which is a separate, different column. I'll continue to do that. I have a couple of assignments, a couple of ideas of things I want to do. And so I'm not retiring, I'm just not going to the office.
But you're going to be lecturing at CMU and at McGill.
Well, I'll be at CMU for the first 6 months, and then I'll probably take much of the summer off. And then my wife and I, Cindy Skrzicki, and I are going to McGill. We have a year-long appointment at the Max Bell School of Public Policy. It's the first year of that school. It's kind of like a Canadian version of the Kennedy School, and we'll be teaching there in Montreal for a year.
For those who don't know, your wife, Cindy, distinguished journalist in her own right, former columnist for the Washington Post, Bloomberg News.
Right.
Buffalo. You met at a newspaper in Buffalo?
We were interns at the Buffalo Evening News together 43 or so years ago, and we've been together ever since. Yeah.
Well, let's go back these 43 years or so. Why journalism? What triggered you to take
The same
this
reason
career?
you guys aren't qualified to do anything else either. And so,
true.
you know, I like to read. I like to, I was always interested in the news. The first book I ever bought with my own money was The Making of the President in 1960. I thought that was a marvelous thing, even as a
Teddy White.
Teddy White, and so I always wanted to cover a presidential campaign. I use the phrase when I talk to the staff, you know, you want to make love to your times. And this is the first time that phrase has ever been used on this show.
I think it is, yeah.
Yes, but
You may not be invited back.
well, I may not. But in any case, you want to be part of your times, and you want to see things that maybe others don't see, and to be able to convey that. And there's also some other benefits. You are able to ask impertinent questions of your social betters, and that's a lot of fun.
Now, I want to go back to the Teddy White part, because that was somewhat inspirational for me as well when you read that book.
Right.
But what made it so good, and I think this is what you've done throughout your career, is that he used history to talk about the 1960 campaign.
Right. He explained 1960 through by 1789 to 1959, and I thought that was a really great way to do that. And I, of course, studied history throughout my academic career in undergraduate and graduate school. I think that's.
How important is history in journalism?
Well, all these viewers should run out and pay $3 for today's Post-Gazette, because I have a big essay today on history and the importance of history to journalism. But I think it's important to know what came before. It doesn't predict what comes. It's not predictive. It just helps you understand the situation you're in today.
You know, we have co-hosted this show before you with your predecessor, John Craig,
Right.
who had a style that was different, very different. John was more, on this show anyway, John was more of a bulldog. He'd get in there and
Right.
rapid fire questions. Whereas you will confront a guest with what Harry Truman said in 1946, which I've always found fascinating, because it seems like you are so much better grounded.
Well, it's because most of the guests really don't know whether I'm making it up.
That's true, nor does your co-host in many cases. So you worked at the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. You were the Washington bureau chief of the Boston Globe, your hometown paper, in 2002, and
Well, it was 1993 to 2002. Yeah.
okay, but as 2002 is turning into 2003, you're offered the top job at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Right.
Do you remember what your first thoughts about that were?
My first thoughts about that were, I've never liked the Patriots. This is the easy answer to that conundrum. No, I always wanted to run a newspaper. John Kennedy, whom you know was one of my favorite characters in history, said that when he left the presidency, and he would have been quite young, he wanted to edit a great newspaper. This was a great newspaper and a great town. We had lived in Washington for 23 or 24 years. We had reared our kids there, but we didn't think it was a place for them to grow into their teens and into high school. So it answered a lot of questions for us. I like to say that my wife had the second, when she went from the Post to Pitt, had the second best second career to Ronald Reagan. And it was a wonderful place for us to move, and we thought it was a great idea.
Did you know much about Pittsburgh before you came here?
Well, I changed planes here once or twice, and I had been here with Rick Santorum. I had been here with Bill Clinton. He cussed me out at one of the hotels here. I had been to Pittsburgh a couple times, but I didn't know what it was like.
We can't let that go. Why did Bill Clinton
Oh,
cuss
we
you
were
out?
we were standing at the William Penn, and it was a Thursday, and I was on the Wall Street Journal. We didn't have a Saturday paper, so Thursday was our last night. We basically had passed deadline. He was characteristically 2 or 3 hours late. I was standing there looking at my watch, and I said, well, where the hell is he? And he came running around the corner at about 9 miles an hour and said, and you can. And I let you fill in the blank. And he did that with affection, of course. And we got on the plane. I went home, and he went, because we didn't have a paper till Monday.
You became friends with other presidents, national figures, for all I know, prime ministers as well.
Well, I like to say
right?
friendly, not
Okay.
friends.
All right.
Yes.
But you've written about your relationship with former late President George H.W. Bush.
Right.
And how your daughter, Natalie, was held.
No,
as
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
The former president and former First Lady,
Yes.
Barbara Bush,
Yes,
both held her as a baby.
Yes, they held her as a baby, and that's a great memories. We have pictures of that, and their friends. Well, their friends don't even know who George H.W. Bush was until last week, or 2 weeks ago, but nonetheless.
So you won a Pulitzer Prize while you were at the Boston Globe for work that you had done writing about what?
Well, that was a category in which you're, you nominate yourself, but in which the nominee puts together a portfolio of 10 pieces. And among them was, the major piece was the piece about how presidents pray. P-R-A-Y, I have to specify that because of recent terms. And then among the other pieces was one on Jackie Kennedy's funeral. I was one of only 2 reporters at her burial. So.
We've known you for a long time. We've never really talked about that. I find it fascinating. How old were you, and what was your...
Well, I think I must have been 40-something, and I was the Boston Globe's Washington bureau chief. That was kind of the Kennedys' hometown. It was no great achievement to have been invited. It was,
But it is a great achievement if you're the only one who's a journalist who's invited there. You are probably the only you're the only working journalist who was invited to George H.W. Bush's funeral at the Washington National Cathedral. So when you're doing your reporting, you obviously develop relationships with some of the people on whom you're reporting.
But not relationships, but not friendships. George, I've written about George H.W. Bush positively and negatively, surely about the Kennedys positively and negatively. I've had good relationships with people on very, very close relationship with Jack Kemp and with Michael Dukakis in the same 1988 campaign year. So I pride myself on being, nonpartisan, not bipartisan, but nonpartisan.
All right, we'll take a break. I want to come back and talk about your views on the future of newspapers, journalism, Pittsburgh, national politics, and more. We'll continue here on the KDPG Sunday edition in just a moment.